We often hear that to succeed, to grow, or to help others, we need to look outward. We need to network, collaborate, and connect with the world around us. But the secret power lies in something far less glamorous, far less talked about, focusing on yourself. When you take the time to understand who you are, what you stand for, and what truly matters to you, something remarkable happens. You begin to gain clarity, not just about your goals, but about your deeper purpose. This is the starting point for everything. Without self-awareness, without a clear sense of who you are, every action you take will be misdirected. You'll be moving, but you won't know where you're headed. The most successful individuals in any field have one thing in common. They understand themselves. They know their strengths and weaknesses, their passions and fears. This knowledge allows them to make decisions with confidence. It empowers them to stay true to their path, even when the world tries to pull them in different directions. But focusing on yourself isn't just about knowledge, it's about building inner strength. When you invest in your personal growth, when you practice self-care and mental resilience, you fortify yourself for the inevitable challenges that will arise. Life is unpredictable, and when you're strong within, you can weather any storm without losing your sense of self. When you shift your focus inward, you also create space for clarity. You begin to see more clearly what you truly want, not what others expect from you or what society deems as success. Your purpose becomes crystal clear, and it serves as the guiding light in everything you do. This empowerment comes from within. By focusing on yourself, you take control of your own narrative. You stop letting external pressures dictate your emotions, your decisions, or your actions. You become the architect of your own destiny, and no one else can take that power away from you. As you start this journey of self-focus, you'll also begin to set boundaries that protect your energy and keep you aligned with your purpose. You'll learn to say no when needed, to distance yourself from toxic situations, and to prioritize your own well-being. This isn't selfish, it's necessary for growth. As you cultivate authenticity, something magical happens. The more you focus on being true to yourself, the more you attract the right opportunities, the right people, and the right circumstances into your life. When you stand in your truth, the world has a way of meeting you at your level. Focusing on yourself isn't about isolation or selfishness. It's about recognizing that the most powerful way you can contribute to the world is by first investing in who you are. When you do, everything else will follow. Authentic relationships, meaningful work, and a life aligned with purpose. The secret power of focusing on yourself is the key to unlocking a future full of endless possibility. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of personal development and meaningful progress. Without it, our actions are often misaligned with our true desires, and our decisions can feel uncertain or even misguided. But when we take the time to truly understand who we are, what we value, and what we aspire to achieve, we lay the groundwork for lasting success and fulfillment. At the heart of self-awareness lies an understanding of our core values. Values are the beliefs and principles that guide our behavior, shape our decisions, and influence how we interact with others. They are not influenced by the opinions of others or fleeting trends. They are deeply rooted in who we are at our core. These values define the person we strive to become, whether we consciously acknowledge them or not. When we don't know our core values, we risk living according to someone else's script. We might find ourselves pursuing goals that don't resonate with us simply because they align with the expectations of society, family, or peers. This misalignment creates a disconnect between who we are and what we're doing, leading to frustration, dissatisfaction, and a sense of purposelessness. On the other hand, when we know our core values, we have a compass that guides us through life's challenges. We no longer have to guess what the right decision is. We know because it aligns with what we stand for. For example, if one of your core values is family, decisions that prioritize time with loved ones will feel more rewarding than those that pull you away from them. If integrity is a central value for you, dishonesty or shortcuts will never feel like viable options, regardless of the situation. Understanding your core values also brings clarity to your goals. Once you know what you truly value, setting goals becomes an intentional and focused process. Your goals are no longer arbitrary or reactive. They are reflections of your deepest desires, shaped by what matters most to you. This clarity transforms your vision of success into something that feels both attainable and meaningful. However, gaining this level of self-awareness doesn't happen overnight. It's a continuous process of reflection, introspection, and personal exploration. It requires taking the time to ask ourselves tough questions. What do I truly care about? What drives me? What principles will I never compromise on? These questions require us to dig deep into our emotions, our experiences, and our past decisions to uncover the patterns that have shaped who we are. Once we have a clearer picture of our values, we can start aligning our daily actions with them. This means saying yes to opportunities that resonate with our values and saying no to things that drain us or pull us away from our authentic selves. It requires us to make conscious choices, whether it's choosing to spend more time on personal growth, deciding to set boundaries in relationships, or pursuing work that aligns with our purpose. It also means being honest with ourselves when we're not living according to our values and making the necessary adjustments to get back on track. This kind of self-awareness also brings with it a sense of empowerment. When you know your values and goals, you stop feeling like a victim of external circumstances. Instead, you begin to recognize that you have the power to shape your own life. You are no longer tossed around by the opinions of others or the demands of society. You are guided by your internal compass, which always points to what truly matters. Self-awareness also enhances our ability to build meaningful relationships. When we understand ourselves, we can communicate our needs and desires more effectively, leading to more authentic connections. We attract people who share our values, and we can navigate conflicts with greater understanding and empathy. Relationships, whether personal or professional, are strengthened when both parties are aligned in their core values and share similar goals. It's important to note that self-awareness is not about perfection. It's not about having all the answers or being certain about everything in life. Instead, it's about being honest with yourself and continuously striving to align your actions with your authentic self. It's about being present in the moment, understanding your motivations, and being open to change and growth as you learn more about yourself. As we take the time to cultivate self-awareness, we not only create a foundation for success, but we also open ourselves up to a life that is more fulfilling, meaningful, and authentic. When we align our values and goals, every step we take brings us closer to the person we are meant to be. By living with clarity, intention, and authenticity, we can experience a deeper sense of purpose and joy in every aspect of our lives. The true power of self-awareness lies in its ability to transform us from the inside out. It allows us to navigate life's challenges with confidence, make choices that align with our deepest desires, and build a future that is shaped by our truest self. When we understand who we are, we unlock the door to limitless potential and create a life that is truly our own. In a world that constantly demands more from us, whether it's our time, our energy, or our emotions, the ability to cultivate inner strength has never been more important. Life presents challenges, obstacles, and moments of adversity that test our limits, and how we respond to these moments is what truly shapes our journey. Focusing on yourself, developing mental and emotional resilience is the key to navigating these challenges with grace, confidence, and strength. Inner strength is not about being immune to stress or hardship. It's not about being unshaken in the face of adversity. Rather, it's about building the capacity to bounce back from setbacks, to learn from failure, and to persevere when things get tough. It's about knowing that no matter how difficult the journey may seem, you have the tools within you to weather the storm and keep moving forward. When you focus on yourself, you invest time in developing mental resilience, the ability to think clearly and make sound decisions even when faced with uncertainty. Mental resilience comes from the practice of staying calm in the face of chaos, of training your mind to focus on solutions rather than problems, and of developing a mindset that views challenges as opportunities for growth. This mental strength enables you to stay grounded even in the most turbulent of times. It's the ability to silence the noise, shut out distractions, and focus on the task at hand, no matter how overwhelming it may seem. The process of building mental resilience begins with understanding your own thoughts and thought patterns. Our minds have a natural tendency to focus on the negative or to worry about things that are beyond our control. But by consciously shifting our focus toward the positive, toward what we can control, we begin to rewire our minds for resilience. We start asking ourselves empowering questions like, what can I learn from this? Or how can I grow through this experience? These questions help us focus on the future, on what's possible, and on how we can use our challenges to become stronger. In addition to mental resilience, focusing on yourself also helps cultivate emotional resilience, the ability to regulate your emotions and respond to difficult situations with composure. Emotional resilience is the foundation of maintaining your mental health and well-being during tough times. It's the ability to face disappointment without becoming discouraged, to endure pain without allowing it to define you, and to navigate conflict without losing your sense of self. When you focus inward and build emotional resilience, you develop a deeper understanding of your emotions. You learn how to identify what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and how to manage those feelings in a healthy way. Emotional resilience is about learning to sit with discomfort, to face your fears, and to experience vulnerability without letting it consume you. It's about finding the courage to face hardship head-on, knowing that your emotions don't control you. They are simply part of the process of growth. Focusing on yourself allows you to become more aware of your triggers, those situations or people that cause you emotional distress. When you recognize these triggers, you can develop strategies to handle them with grace, preventing them from derailing your progress. You begin to see that while you can't always control your external circumstances, you have full control over how you respond to them. This self-awareness gives you the power to rise above challenges and maintain your sense of peace, no matter what is happening around you. Inner strength also involves having a deep sense of self-worth. When you truly understand your value and know that you are capable of overcoming adversity, you become less susceptible to the opinions and judgments of others. You stop seeking validation from the outside world and start trusting your own judgment. This self-trust is crucial for emotional resilience. It enables you to make decisions based on your beliefs rather than seeking approval from others or worrying about how others perceive you. When you are secure in who you are, you can stand firm in the face of criticism or rejection without it shaking your confidence. Building inner strength is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong process. It requires continuous effort, self-reflection, and self-compassion. There will be times when you falter, when you doubt yourself, and when you feel like giving up. But in those moments, it's essential to remind yourself that growth happens through discomfort. It's through facing challenges head-on that we develop the resilience to keep going. You must be patient with yourself, forgiving of your setbacks, and determined to keep moving forward. The true power of inner strength lies in its ability to transform you from within. When you focus on yourself and build mental and emotional resilience, you gain the ability to face life's challenges with confidence and grace. You no longer view obstacles as insurmountable, but as stepping stones on the path to personal growth. You begin to trust in your own capacity to navigate adversity and emerge stronger on the other side. The journey of cultivating inner strength is not easy, but it is deeply rewarding. When you focus on developing your resilience, you equip yourself with the tools to overcome anything life throws your way. The more you invest in yourself, the more you realize that you are capable of achieving anything, no matter how difficult it may seem. The road to personal strength is one of continuous growth, and as you walk that road, you will discover the incredible power that lies within you. Clarity of purpose is one of the most powerful tools you can possess on your journey of personal growth. It acts as the compass that guides you through life, helping you navigate the twists and turns that come with pursuing your dreams and overcoming challenges. Without a clear sense of purpose, you may find yourself drifting, unsure of where to go or why you're even on the path you're on. But when you focus on personal growth, you unlock the clarity necessary to see beyond the immediate distractions and focus on what truly matters. Personal growth is about more than just achieving external success. It's about understanding who you are, what you stand for, and what you want to contribute to the world. When you prioritize personal development, you embark on a journey of self-discovery, which ultimately leads to a deeper understanding of your true purpose. This clarity of purpose serves as a guide for all your decisions, helping you stay focused even when faced with uncertainty. One of the most powerful aspects of gaining clarity of purpose is the sense of direction it provides. When you know why you're doing something, whether it's pursuing a career, building relationships, or taking care of your health, you become more intentional in your actions. Instead of wandering aimlessly or being swept along by the expectations of others, you begin to take deliberate steps toward your goals. You know what you want to achieve, and you can direct your energy and focus toward making that vision a reality. This clarity gives you the confidence to say no to distractions that do not align with your purpose. In a world full of noise, it's easy to get pulled in many different directions, especially when others have their own expectations for you. But when you have a clear understanding of your purpose, you gain the strength to prioritize what matters most and let go of things that do not serve your growth. You stop saying yes out of obligation and start saying yes because it's aligned with your vision. Furthermore, clarity of purpose provides you with a sense of fulfillment that cannot be found in external validation or material achievements. When your actions are rooted in your core values and your true aspirations, you experience a deeper sense of satisfaction. You stop measuring your worth by the success or failure of external pursuits and begin to measure it by how closely you're living in alignment with your purpose. This inner fulfillment is lasting and unshakable, because it is rooted in who you truly are, not in external circumstances that are constantly changing. Focusing on personal growth also allows you to refine your goals and vision over time. As you learn more about yourself and the world around you, your purpose may evolve. Personal growth doesn't mean you have to have everything figured out right away. It's a continuous process of exploration, learning, and self-discovery. Your clarity of purpose will deepen as you become more in tune with who you are and where you're headed. Each experience you go through provides valuable lessons that help refine your sense of direction. The journey of personal growth, fueled by clarity of purpose, also helps you develop the resilience needed to stay committed to your goals. When obstacles arise, and they inevitably will, you'll be better equipped to handle them. The challenges you face will no longer feel like roadblocks, but opportunities for growth. When your purpose is clear, you understand that setbacks are simply part of the process, and you will not let them derail your vision. You'll be more likely to persevere because your purpose provides the motivation and drive needed to keep going, no matter how difficult things get. A clear sense of purpose also brings a sense of peace. When you know that your actions are aligned with your deepest values and desires, you feel a sense of inner peace that comes from knowing you are on the right path. Even when things are uncertain or unpredictable, you can trust that you are moving in the right direction. This peace of mind allows you to approach life with a sense of calm, even when external circumstances are chaotic or out of your control. Clarity of purpose provides a sense of connection. When you are clear about your purpose, you are more likely to attract people, opportunities, and experiences that align with your vision. You begin to surround yourself with individuals who support your growth and share similar values. This sense of alignment helps you build more authentic, meaningful relationships that support your personal development. As you continue to focus on your personal growth and deepen your sense of purpose, you will also develop a more profound understanding of your potential. You'll start to see that you are capable of achieving far more than you initially thought. Your purpose becomes the driving force behind everything you do, and it fuels your belief in yourself. This belief is essential for overcoming the challenges that will inevitably arise along the way. Clarity of purpose is not just a goal, it's a way of life. It transforms the way you approach every aspect of your journey, from the small decisions to the big ones. When you focus on your personal growth, you uncover the clarity you need to live a life that is aligned with your true self. This clarity provides the direction, motivation, and peace needed to stay the course and achieve what you truly desire. When you know your purpose, you no longer need to search for validation from others, and you no longer need to chase external markers of success. You live with intention, knowing that each step you take is in alignment with the person you are becoming. This is the true power of clarity of purpose. It empowers you to live authentically and with unwavering conviction. In life, we often find ourselves swept away by the current of external circumstances, whether it's the opinions of others, the demands of society, or the challenges we face on a daily basis. These external factors can sometimes feel overwhelming, leaving us feeling powerless, or as though we have no control over our own lives. However, true empowerment lies in shifting our focus inward. By focusing on ourselves, cultivating self-awareness, and taking responsibility for our thoughts and actions, we reclaim the power to shape our lives on our terms. Empowerment begins with the realization that no matter what happens around us, we are the ones who ultimately determine how we respond. External circumstances are often beyond our control. Economic downturns, the opinions of others, or even unexpected setbacks are factors that we cannot always predict or avoid. But our response to these circumstances is something entirely within our power. The way we react to adversity, the choices we make in the face of uncertainty, and the beliefs we hold about ourselves, these are all within our control. When we focus inward, we begin to understand that we have the ability to direct our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This is where true empowerment arises, when we stop giving power away to things outside of us and start recognizing that the most powerful force in our lives is the one within us. We have the power to choose how we respond to every situation, to rise above the challenges we face, and to create the life we desire. A crucial aspect of this inward focus is developing a strong sense of self-awareness. Self-awareness enables us to understand who we truly are, what we value, and what we want to achieve in life. It's about recognizing our strengths and weaknesses and being honest with ourselves about our desires and fears. This level of introspection empowers us to make conscious decisions that align with our core values rather than being swayed by the expectations or pressures of others. When we are self-aware, we can distinguish between what is truly important to us and what is merely a product of external influence. We stop chasing goals that aren't ours and start pursuing the things that truly matter to us. For example, if we are constantly trying to meet societal standards of success, we may feel exhausted, unfulfilled, and disconnected from our true purpose. However, when we focus inward and reflect on what success means to us personally, we are empowered to set goals that align with our authentic self, bringing greater satisfaction and meaning into our lives. Empowerment also involves taking full responsibility for our choices and actions. Too often, we fall into the trap of blaming external circumstances for our situation. We blame our upbringing, our environment, or even other people for where we are in life. While it's true that circumstances play a role, it is our actions in response to those circumstances that truly define our path. Taking responsibility for our lives means acknowledging that we have the power to choose, to act, and to change. When we focus inward, we recognize that no one else is responsible for our happiness, success, or well-being except ourselves. We stop waiting for someone to give us permission to live the life we want, and instead take bold steps toward creating that life. This mindset shifts us from a position of helplessness to one of empowerment. We stop being passive observers of our own lives and become active participants, shaping our futures through the choices we make each day. Another key element of empowerment is the ability to manage our thoughts and emotions. Our mindset plays a significant role in how we experience life. When we focus inward, we develop the tools to control our inner dialogue and challenge negative or limiting beliefs. We learn to replace self-doubt with self-confidence, fear with courage, and resistance with acceptance. This shift in mindset empowers us to face challenges head-on and to keep moving forward even when things get tough. Instead of being overwhelmed by the emotions triggered by external circumstances, we take control of how we feel and respond. By focusing inward, we also begin to set boundaries that protect our energy and well-being. We recognize that we cannot give to others or take on every responsibility if we do not first care for ourselves. Setting healthy boundaries empowers us to prioritize our needs and maintain balance in our lives. It helps us say no when necessary, eliminate toxic relationships, and create space for what truly nurtures our growth and happiness. These boundaries are not walls, they are tools that allow us to preserve our personal power and use it wisely. Empowerment is also about building resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to change, and grow stronger from adversity. Life will inevitably throw challenges our way, but when we focus inward, we develop the mental and emotional resilience needed to handle whatever comes our way. We learn to see setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities to learn, evolve, and improve. Resilience enables us to navigate difficult times with strength and determination, knowing that we have the inner resources to overcome any obstacle. Empowerment is about living life with intention, taking responsibility for our choices, and recognizing that we are the creators of our own reality. By focusing inward, we reclaim our power and take control of our lives. We stop being passive recipients of life's circumstances and become active participants in shaping our destiny. When we choose to focus on ourselves and invest in our growth, we tap into a wellspring of strength, resilience, and potential that allows us to navigate life with purpose and confidence. Empowerment is a state of mind. It's the realization that no matter the challenges we face, we have the strength within us to rise above them. By focusing inward, we unlock the power to create a life that is truly our own, one that is shaped by our values, our choices, and our unwavering belief in our ability to thrive. When we take control of our lives from the inside out, we become unstoppable in the pursuit of our dreams and the fulfillment of our highest potential. In our fast-paced, hyper-connected world, we are constantly pulled in many directions, whether it's the demands of work, the expectations of others, or the pressures of modern life. It's easy to feel as though we're being stretched too thin. Amidst the noise and chaos, it's essential to recognize that protecting our energy and well-being is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. One of the most powerful tools we have to preserve our mental, emotional, and physical health is the ability to create and maintain healthy boundaries. When we focus on ourselves, we gain the clarity and self-awareness necessary to establish these boundaries, allowing us to navigate the world in a way that honors our own needs. Boundaries are often misunderstood. They are not walls that isolate us from others, but rather they are the limits we set to protect our energy, time, and personal space. Establishing boundaries is not about being rigid or unapproachable. It's about being clear with ourselves and others about what we are willing to accept and what we are not. It's a way to communicate our needs, values, and priorities without feeling guilty or overburdened. Creating boundaries begins with self-awareness. When we take the time to focus on ourselves, we become more attuned to our own needs, desires, and limits. We begin to recognize when we are stretching ourselves too thin or when we are giving too much of ourselves to others. For example, you may notice that after spending time with certain people, you feel drained rather than energized, or that you are frequently overcommitting to obligations because you don't want to let anyone down. This awareness is the first step in understanding where boundaries need to be established. Once we are aware of our own limits, the next step is to communicate them clearly. Often we avoid setting boundaries because we fear conflict or rejection. We may worry about disappointing others or being perceived as selfish. However, setting boundaries is not about being selfish. It's about respecting our own needs and ensuring that we have the energy and space to show up as our best selves. It's important to remember that when we set boundaries, we are teaching others how to treat us. If we consistently allow others to overstep our limits, we reinforce the idea that our time, energy, and well-being are not a priority. But when we establish clear boundaries, we create a foundation of respect and mutual understanding. Setting boundaries also involves learning how to say no. This is one of the most difficult aspects of boundary setting for many people, especially those who are people pleasers or those who have a deep desire to be liked or accepted. We often say yes to requests because we want to be helpful or we fear disappointing others. However, saying yes when we are stretched too thin only leads to burnout, resentment, and a diminished sense of self-worth. Learning to say no is an essential part of taking control of our lives and protecting our well-being. Saying no does not mean that we are rejecting the other person. It simply means that we are prioritizing our own needs in that moment. A crucial aspect of creating healthy boundaries is understanding that boundaries are not just about saying no to others. They're also about saying yes to ourselves. Setting boundaries means that we are prioritizing our own well-being, self-care, and growth. It's about giving ourselves permission to take the time we need to recharge, reflect, and pursue our personal goals without feeling guilty or selfish. By honoring our own boundaries, we show ourselves the love and respect that we deserve. When we establish healthy boundaries, we also protect our emotional and mental health. Boundaries allow us to manage the energy we invest in relationships, work, and other obligations. For example, if you have a friend or colleague who constantly drains your energy with negativity or criticism, setting a boundary might involve limiting the time you spend with that person or asking them to respect certain topics of conversation. In doing so, you protect your emotional energy, ensuring that you are not constantly absorbing negativity that undermines your well-being. Boundaries are also essential for maintaining balance in our lives. In a world that constantly demands our attention, it's easy to become consumed by work or other obligations, leaving little time for personal growth, rest, or enjoyment. By setting clear boundaries around work hours, personal time, and social commitments, we ensure that we are not neglecting the aspects of our lives that bring us fulfillment and joy. Boundaries help us create space for what matters most, whether it's spending time with loved ones, pursuing our passions, or simply taking time to relax and recharge. Creating boundaries also improves our relationships. When we are clear about our needs and limits, we are better able to communicate with others and prevent misunderstandings. Healthy boundaries foster respect, trust, and understanding in relationships, as both parties are aware of each other's needs and limitations. When we don't set boundaries, we may inadvertently enable unhealthy dynamics or allow others to take advantage of us. However, when we establish boundaries with kindness and clarity, we create a foundation for more authentic, respectful, and supportive relationships. It's important to remember that creating boundaries is an ongoing process. As we grow and evolve, our needs and limits may change, and so too should our boundaries. There will be times when we need to reassess and adjust our boundaries based on new experiences, insights, or changing circumstances. Creating boundaries is not a one-time event. It is a continuous practice of self-awareness, self-respect, and self-care. Creating healthy boundaries is a vital part of living a balanced, fulfilling life. By focusing on ourselves and taking the time to understand our needs and limits, we empower ourselves to protect our energy, maintain our well-being, and nurture the relationships and commitments that are truly important. Boundaries are not a sign of weakness or selfishness. They are a sign of self-respect and a commitment to our own growth and happiness. When we create and honor our boundaries, we not only protect our energy, but also create a life that is aligned with our values, desires, and personal well-being. In a world that often emphasizes conformity, it can be easy to lose sight of who we truly are. We may find ourselves shaping our identity to fit in, chasing after external validation, or adhering to societal standards that don't resonate with our true selves. However, the key to living a fulfilling and meaningful life lies in embracing authenticity. When we focus on who we truly are, when we embrace our unique qualities, values, and passions, we create an environment where opportunities and relationships that align with our true selves naturally come into our lives. The process of focusing on who we truly are begins with self-reflection. Taking the time to explore our inner world, our values, desires, motivations, and passions helps us better understand who we are at our core. In a society that constantly demands our attention and energy, we often forget to check in with ourselves. But when we quiet the noise and focus inward, we gain clarity on what truly matters to us and what we want to create in our lives. This clarity is essential for aligning our actions with our true selves. Living authentically allows us to attract people and opportunities that resonate with our values and aspirations. When we are authentic, we naturally draw in relationships that are based on mutual respect, understanding, and shared goals. People are drawn to those who are genuine because authenticity fosters trust and connection. Whether in personal relationships, friendships, or professional environments, when we present ourselves as our true selves, we invite others to do the same. We create an atmosphere of openness and honesty that leads to deeper, more meaningful connections. Authenticity serves as a magnet for opportunities that align with our passions and purpose. When we are clear about who we are and what we want, we naturally begin to attract situations, projects, and opportunities that align with our true calling. For instance, when we live authentically in our careers, we are more likely to attract job opportunities that are in line with our values and goals, rather than settling for positions that leave us feeling unfulfilled or disconnected. Authenticity empowers us to say yes to the opportunities that resonate with our soul and say no to those that don't align with our vision. The beauty of embracing authenticity is that it allows us to step into our true potential. When we are honest with ourselves about our capabilities, limitations, and desires, we unlock the power to pursue what truly excites and fulfills us. Instead of comparing ourselves to others or trying to meet external expectations, we focus on our own unique path. Authenticity allows us to be fully present in the pursuit of our goals because we are aligned with our true desires, not what others think we should want. This alignment fosters greater creativity, confidence, and motivation to take bold steps toward our dreams. Living authentically also provides us with the courage to overcome fear and self-doubt. The fear of rejection or failure often stems from a sense of inadequacy or the belief that we are not enough as we are. But when we embrace who we truly are, we develop the resilience to face challenges with a sense of purpose and conviction. We no longer need to seek validation from others because we already recognize our own worth. Authenticity empowers us to take risks, make mistakes, and grow from our experiences without letting fear hold us back. In relationships, authenticity is essential for creating genuine connections. When we are true to ourselves, we attract people who accept us for who we are, flaws and all. We no longer feel the need to hide behind facades or wear masks in order to fit in. Authenticity encourages vulnerability, and vulnerability fosters deeper intimacy and trust. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we invite others to do the same, creating a space where true connection can flourish. Authentic relationships are built on mutual respect, openness, and acceptance, qualities that can only exist when we are willing to show up as our true self. Embracing authenticity requires courage and self-acceptance. It's not always easy to be true to ourselves, especially when it feels like the world is pressuring us to conform. But the more we embrace our authentic selves, the more we develop a sense of inner peace and confidence. We stop seeking approval from external sources and instead look within for validation. As we grow more comfortable with who we are, we become less afraid of judgment and more confident in our ability to live life on our terms. Being authentic doesn't mean that we will always be liked by everyone, or that we will never experience rejection. In fact, embracing authenticity sometimes means letting go of relationships or opportunities that no longer serve us. However, it also means that we are free to surround ourselves with people and experiences that align with our true self, creating a life that feels rich, fulfilling, and aligned with our soul's purpose. The more we focus on who we truly are, the more we attract opportunities and relationships that align with our authentic selves. Living authentically allows us to step into our power, create meaningful connections, and pursue our goals with clarity and confidence. It's about embracing our uniqueness, honoring our values, and being unafraid to show up as our true selves. When we live authentically, we create a life that is true to who we are, one that brings us joy, fulfillment, and a deep sense of purpose. Embracing authenticity is the key to unlocking the doors to opportunities, relationships, and experiences that resonate with our deepest desires and aspirations. In conclusion, when we take the time to focus on ourselves, whether through cultivating self-awareness, establishing boundaries, building inner strength, or embracing our authenticity, we empower ourselves to create a life that aligns with our true values, desires, and aspirations. By embracing who we truly are, we attract the right opportunities and relationships, and we develop the resilience to navigate challenges with confidence. It all begins with the decision to prioritize ourselves and to recognize the incredible power we hold within. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on these principles today. Remember, the journey to a fulfilled life starts with the courage to focus on who you are and to honor your own needs, desires, and boundaries. You are the architect of your own destiny, and the more authentically you live, the more you will attract the life you are meant to have. Thank you.